Okay, the time is 3:36 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, December 1st, 2024. The only things I'm allowed to say is this. About 5 minutes, maybe give a few more minutes past that. 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Let me plug my ears just so that I don't get really rudely interrupted by the psychos, the mufflers, the sirens, and everything fucking else they do in this disgusting city. Okay, now we're good. My ears are plugged. So within 7 minutes before what I witnessed, all right, this is what happened. And I'm supposed to say this now. I can't talk about anything I'm witnessing in here, right? Not even allude to it. This is all I can say. 7 minutes before I saw what I saw out my window, there was a terrorist underneath my floor, right by my radiator. They were, what I strongly believe, killed. And they dropped all the stuff, hard objects, and they almost knocked as they were getting taken down on my hardwood floor. It was almost like a knock, 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 but it wasn't. It was some sort of disaster happened under my floor in their perspective, but they have to go. They got to stop blowing people up. They got to stop poisoning people. They got to stop chopping bodies up. They got to stop organ harvesting. They got to stop cannibalizing. They got to stop carrying on fake identities of dead people in the mail. I can go on and on here with Social Security fraud and every other serious, violent felony offense and non-violent but serious white-collar crime they're engaging in and protected to do here. The violent felony crimes are so egregious and outrageous, they absolutely cannot continue doing this here, okay? And the terrorist compound does not seem to comprehend that, okay? No matter what I witness, and I can't talk about anything I'm witnessing, they just keep coming back and keep doing it. All right? To give you an idea of how many volunteer for this, to keep coming back, engaging in terrorism, you got to understand what the city, when I say that they come and go from these houses up and down the street after tearing someone's guts out, chopping them up, they disembowel them, and literally cutting their heads off. They take their skeleton. That's been on my account for years. It's been on Facebook. Look into it. It's on Facebook. I mean, this has been on the United States social media. It's become normalized. It's not normal, and it's not socially acceptable to cut someone's head off, dissolve the skin and the tissue off their face, take their dental records, organ harvest their eyeballs. That's not always done here. It's mostly livers. They eat the fucking human remains. They send out the livers, the kidneys, but whatever organs they can harvest, they harvest them. So when you're cutting off someone's head, sometimes they do send out the eyeballs. They're hooked up with the hospital, and now I've said this. I've said what hospitals. I've said what ones are involved with the police as far as what violent crimes they're carrying out. It's the George Washington Hospital that's really involved with the organ harvesting. I cannot talk about this. Do you realize what kind of targets they've got for the good guys when they carry out their strikes? Do you understand yet what's on the table here? Coming to the White House, coming to the Congress, coming to the Supreme Court, coming to George Washington Hospital, coming to MedStar Hospital. You can't militarize your institutions like that without serious consequences. You can't protect them through your Supreme Court to say it's okay and Let's normalize it now, since it's all over the freaking internet for years, and our kids are becoming normalized to this kind of psychotic violence. You can't normalize that this is okay, that they just left the house, they went to the grocery store to get some onions to fry up human organs and tissue, and we're standing by them with a toddler at the Safeway down the street, because that is what I have witnessed them do. I have witnessed these terrorist cannibals come back and forth with groceries ever since they started chopping up dead bodies in here. I've witnessed them add those groceries, whether they were delivered or they went and got them, to the fucking human remains they fried up in here. So to give you an idea of what kind of people are coming and going and how many are willing to come, I think you can connect the dots, because I'm not allowed to really get into a lot of elaborate detail about this. It's against the rules right now. So another one volunteered to come back into this fucking terrorist compound through the hole in the wall that's conjunct to 1507. That is underneath my floor by the radiators. They're playing around with the manufactured chemical stenches. They're playing around with the Russian weapon system here. Vladimir Putin with his Iranian Russians brought that here. Whenever they do that, I witness them go down very violently. I've witnessed this since I was able to start reporting it about 2 years ago. It got deadly for anybody to come in and mess with that weapon system. You should have the basic knowledge that if you steal any country's weapon system and you start messing with it, you're playing with your life. The Americans, what I've witnessed, don't think anything will happen to them, and they keep coming in and coming in. So this is, God wanted me to say this. I cannot talk about anything that's happening in here. I cannot talk about anything that's happening outside except for this. So right before they came in from the hole in the wall, there's a construction site. It's 7 days a week. The construction site down by the Mexican drug cartel house is a trio of houses that never stop. They're private construction 7 days a week, and they work into the dark. Or they'll set it up. All of a sudden, they'll set it up and they'll work till after midnight. Yes, I am not allowed to talk about this anymore. It's so serious. The public has missed massive, massive historical events because I'm forbidden from talking about it on the internet. I don't have to. The good guys will definitely be telling you, okay? They're the ones who run the White House. All right. They run the White House. I don't have the capacity or the ability to do that. I'm trapped in this fucking room and can hardly say anything and have my ears plugged right now. We need to face reality of what my capacity is and who's really running the show here. It's the generals. The generals are directing the war. It is not me. So this is why I'm only allowed to say what I can say, all right? So there was all this booming, boom, boom, boom. It's their way they signal to, okay, they say, let's boom, 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 really loud out of nowhere. It's really fucking creepy. On our stuff and things in our yards. And then they charge into this house, and then you hear them. They started, and I'm not allowed to say what they did when they came in, but you could hear them, and then this disaster happened under my floor to one of the terrorists, trying to fucking hurt a woman, which is me, just sitting in my goddamn chair, doing nothing to no one, okay? And they're playing with a weapon system that they do not and should not be thinking they can get away with, dude. No, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so you have the Russian Iranians helping you, but you've got the rest of the freaking Kremlin trying to take you out for that. That is their weapon system. I would think twice before I come charging in and doing that, dude. But the Americans literally don't understand that. It's not my problem if they don't understand that. If you don't have any survival skills and you think I can just do whatever I want, I'm a big fucking dumb American, then go ahead. But I've witnessed them so many go down because they fucking fuck with that shit. It's under the floor. It's in the attic. I can't talk about where else it is. It's all over in this house. They've got it rigged up. I'm a witness to all of it. I know that. Okay, it's okay if I say certain things, but I really gotta hold the reins here, pulling the reins. I've witnessed so much with that weapon system, I do have to, after a certain point, be careful what I say. Okay, there is unequivocally, concretely, a foreign weapon system here. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin with the Russian Iranians installed it. It doesn't work. They can't get it to work because that's just one reason. The shit I'm saying now that I witnessed happened to them when they try. Okay, so they went off in the construction yard. Okay, then they charged in. Okay, then they started doing stuff and things that I can't talk about underneath my floor. Then they got it good. They got taken out for trying to mess with a foreign country's weapon system that was stolen in the first place. I heard this small catastrophe under my floor. My jaw's on the floor. I'm like, my fucking God, I can't believe this shit here. Is this all this knocking and banging and someone's dropping all this metal and they're not in the house. There's no one here. It's this area they crawl into, okay? They got it good. There's no more fucking with no weapon system now. And then within about 2 minutes, there's 2 white females. I've filmed her before. I can't film them anymore. I do not have that liberty to film these terrorists who are encamped in this compound. The house across the street where the U.S. Fed / Pentagon operates from, okay? I've filmed it enough. It's right across the alley. I cannot make any more statements of anything I've ever said or filmed about that house. I have to just say that so you know what I'm talking about and end it. Okay, so to the present day, what I said, and it seems odd that I can only say this about everything I've witnessed today, but just that's what I'm supposed to do. So within 2 minutes after that, one going down on my floor, he said, look out your window. My guidance was stand up and look out your window because there was all this booming going off in that driveway of that house. Because that's how they operate here. Some of the things they do, they've got their women involved. They've got their kids as human shields. It's a whole town effort. Okay, but I can't say anymore, but it should give you some clarity into how many are willing to come in and try to fuck with a Russian fucking weapon system. I don't care how stupid these Americans are. They've proven to me they're pretty damn stupid, okay? It's a town effort. Each one of them thinks they're the goddamn immortals. Okay, so within 2 minutes of that one going down underneath my floor, their white women were in the yard. Boom, boom, boom. And then they were yelling, yeah, hey, ha! Then they started laughing, and I watched it for about a minute, and then I had to get away from my windows. Normally, 95% of the time, when this kind of stuff and things is happening in multiple yards and under the floor, and it's not just under my floor, it could be in multiple areas in just this property, plus more happening in both of these houses conjunct, like it's going off, okay? And we can talk about it another time. When these scenarios are occurring, I am not allowed to look out my fucking windows and stick my nose and my face to the window. I'm not. That's the last thing I'm ever allowed to do, and that's been the running story for multiple years. It could cost me my life. But he said, stand up and look at this. And it was the 2 females. One of them's a hooker. She does all the feds. Like the hookers are up and down around here, yes. And she does the Pentagon creeps. Okay, but I can't say any more about her. If I've made other statements, which I know I have, I can't do it. Okay, you have to review the former testimonies. So she's out there with a fucking goddamn Christmas tree. Big old 8-foot Christmas tree, something just huge. There's 2 white women. One of them's that hooker. And they're booming and they're laughing. And it was all coordinated. Yes, with the yard, with the floor, with the backyard. Now, these 2 women don't know that. Their little buddy went down underneath my floor for fucking with a Russian weapon system. Okay? And these individuals have been protected here so long with gases and human chopping up human bodies and filling the house up, having the dead corpses just billow out at a stench level of a mass graveyard. They're used to it. They really believe that they are seriously protected people. You have protected people in war scenarios and in just regular government functions. You have people that you want to protect, but it's not prostitutes generally and deranged psychotics that engage in heinous violence. Those questions, the good guys will answer why they did it, but it's centered around the weapon system. The weapon system was protected. And a lot of the combat and armed conflict I witnessed is centered around that weapon system. But I can't say what I've been witnessing. I can't say dates. I can't say anything. No, I know I can't. So they're hauling out a Christmas tree, trying to be filmed, trying to be like everybody hears them, everybody sees them. They're bashing on their car. I thought it was construction at first. I looked out, and then I am supposed to say this, and he wanted me to say this. He wanted me to say this almost verbatim. Tell them how stupid they are. First of all, that you have your women with you in the war. This is directed to the American gringos, the white ones. All right? They have their women fighting in a really brutal, serious war. The weapons that the war itself consists of are so serious, you do not have your housewives involved with this. Like at the Capitol building with pink hats on, yelling about Donald Trump and taking over the U.S. You leave your women the fuck at home. So what we're dealing with in the U.S. is really psychotic people in our population. Not only do they bring their women into the war around the clock, 24/7, but they chop up bodies and they cannibalize. I really am supposed to get it over. The cannibalism is serious, and the good guys have way more evidence than just your iPhone. This brings down our government. That was it. It was a wrap when they started munching on human dead people in here. It was a wrap. And now that's become a regular way of life here. There's a practicing cannibal cult here. Okay, and these things I'm saying are not the first time you've heard it if you're an adult. These terrible things do happen on Earth, and it's happening in DC. A big reason is drug abuse, and a big reason is that they got carried away with drug abuse and no one ever fucking arrested them. And they kept being told they were so special, so protected. It got really, really out of hand, okay? And they just, I dread when they start lighting the house up with fried flesh again and the place stinks of dead corpses. I dread that. There's nothing more fucking horrifying. Okay, so the women were out there, and I'm supposed to say that, how stupid they are. And I'm supposed to say, not even I myself, I'm supposed to say this verbatim. Heidi Granger is not allowed to decorate her house for Christmas. There are no Christmas trees in here. There are no lights. There are no decorations. It looks like it's the middle of April. It looks like it's the middle of, pick another month where it's a long ways after Christmas and there's nothing in your house. I'm not allowed to film my house. Let me reiterate. There is not one Christmas light. There is not one Christmas decoration. You would not know it was even Christmas at all. I'm walking in here. If you walk in here, it looks like it's the middle of March. Do I make myself clear? I am forbidden from decorating this place for Christmas. And if anyone's been following me for even a year, they know this is huge. My creator, my guardian angel, beyond cosmos, has me forbidden from putting up one Christmas decoration. But these terrorists, these domestic terrorists, with their Arabic Muslim terrorists, are so stupid. They think they can decorate their Christmas trees, go shopping. It's really, really fatal. And I was supposed to say that. They still have their women, I was supposed to say that verbatim. They still have their women decorating Christmas trees, hauling shit around in the middle of serious, fucking fatal combat. They do, and I was supposed to say this. Also, an ending, just to rub it in, to get it through. Heidi Granger has absolutely no Christmas, nothing. If you stood out there, it would look like a dark house, a fucking nothing. Not anything. You wouldn't know what type of year it was. Am I clear? That's what we're dealing with. That's a real military. That's what I'm doing. I'm not fucking decorating for fucking Christmas. Are we clear yet? I hope so. Adios.